So with that being said, we're going to have to make sure that we're not going way the hell over on some of these segments.
Over what?
Well, that last one, like I said, that last episode, segment 1 was like 36 minutes.
Who cares?
Me.
Listen, if the content is good, then this concept of, oh, we went over what?
Okay,
These
okay.
are imaginary constructs. It's like me getting mad at myself when I show up at the gym at 5:10 a.m. versus 5 o'clock a.m.
Did you say 5 o'clock a.m.?
I made that fucking time up. I don't work for the gym. Why would I consider myself to have failed when it's an imaginary fucking construct in the first place?
Well, it's not imaginary because that's a guideline we set for ourselves, sir. So it's not really imaginary.
That's the guideline you set. I didn't set that.
Well, I don't think we should be going over 90 minutes, number one.
Based off of what? Based off of how many podcasters you've also talked to that said that there's somehow a drop off in engagement and a drop off in listenership?
What I am saying, what I am saying is like you said before, when we originally started doing this stuff, that attention spans aren't very long, correct?
We also noted that many of our most loyal listeners aren't necessarily listening to it first thing when the episode drops.
I'm aware of that.
So they're listening when they can. So if they're listening when they can, why is it somehow a death knell that our content is so robust and substantial that it doesn't fit in this box of less than 90 minutes? I would consider this to be a first world problem. And oh, by the way, one of the podcasts that I followed like 10 years ago, The Black Guy Who Tips, who is advertising on Anchor, by the way, they were notorious for like having 2-hour podcasts, 2.5-hour podcasts, 3-hour fucking podcasts. It was just Rod and Karen literally going ham for like 3 fucking hours. So I do think, Jason, that is something worth revisiting, that as our segments and our content and this is what makes topic selection so important, is that we are choosing segments that honestly we're like, holy shit, 30 minutes might not be enough.
And that's fine. And I acknowledge that. And I agree. I'm just saying, maybe for right now, going over 90 minutes isn't a good thing.
Based off
hang on.
Off what? If you're gonna say that, Jason, you better have some fucking like analytics backing that up.
Well, if you stop cutting me off, I'd say my reasoning behind that.
Proceed.
Which you're probably going to disagree with anyway, so it's probably a waste of time.
I probably will. Like, you could literally have fucking Barack and Joe Biden behind you, and I'm like, yeah, but fuck those guys.
Hey, if Barack, no. If Barack and Joe Biden were behind us, I would gladly have a 2-hour show because we're going to get them on the show if they're behind me, back me. So my concern was, and I've heard this from a few people.
Do they not? A few people like who?
Hang on, let me finish. Feedback that I've gotten from some people who've listened to us before. Their concern was, and even though they put it off on other people, I think they were talking about themselves, is that whenever they see the next episode and it's, 120 minutes or whatever, not that we've gone that far, that people might get turned off and not want to listen because it's too long. Now, again, people that tell me that will put it off on other people, but usually when they say that, they're talking about themselves. So that's been my concern. Is that
alive and well?
What's that?
I said projection is alive and well. I agree. Well,
maybe. But that's been my concern about going over 90 minutes. Like I said, I prefer to keep it between 60 and 75. But like I said before, and like we've agreed upon, if we need to go longer than that because of a topic content, then yeah, that's where the 90 minutes comes into play. That extra 15 minutes.
Yes, we're willing to go the distance if that's what it takes.
Okay, just putting that out there.